morning, everyone, and welcome to the How Can I Help My Child series. It's Mary Beth, and I'm excited to be in front of your screen this morning. And we are going to be talking about how we can help your child develop positive habits. Welcome to the How Can I Help My Child Develop Positive Habits series. Give me a second, please. Sorry for the obstruction. Someone is trying to call back to back. All right. So welcome to the series. And today we're here for 20 minutes to talk about very important issues on how we can help our child. How Can I Help My Child series is a series that we started last week, and welcome to episode 3. We do this every day throughout the week. It's a 20-minute series. We just come in here and we talk about the questions that parents have been asking. So this is one of the questions that I've had parents ask me for the longest time. How can I help my child develop the right habits? You meet parents and they're like, oh, okay, it seems like this child has got it together. Your child has got it together. That one has got it together. How do I help my child get it together too? I say to parents all the time, there is no family that isn't struggling with something or the other per time. In fact, if you can identify what it is that you are struggling with per time, it means that you are actually parenting effectively, because when you parent effectively, you will notice the gaps in your parenting, or you notice the things that your children are struggling with, or perhaps the thing that even you are struggling with as a parent. So it's very key that we are present and we are owning our journeys. And as we do, we will find the gaps and we can nip them in the bud, or we can work to improve them, or we can work to change them. All right. So, yes, if you're asking the question, how can I help my child? How can I support my child, or how can I help my child build positive habits? Okay, this is what I'm going to say to you today. Grab your pen and let's do this. You want to make sure that you're helping them develop habits that will build 3 aspects of their lives. So you want to make sure you're helping your child develop habits that will build their minds, yes, that will build their soul, yes, and of course, that will build their body, their stamina. All right. So you want to ensure that at every point you have this at the back of your mind. What habits can I, introduce? Right. What habits or what skills or what activities can I introduce and do consistently that will help my child build habits that will help them strengthen their minds, habits that will help them build and strengthen their bodies, and then habits that will help them build and strengthen their soul. All right. Now, in this series, what we give you here is not exhaustive. Yes, what we give you here is not everything there is, but it is enough for you to kickstart your journey. It's enough for you to introduce into whatever system you already have. It's enough for you to apply. We always say that all the little hacks you get here and there, especially what you get in 20 minutes, are light bulb kind of moments. Oh, yeah, that sounds like it. Oh, yeah, that's what I've been missing. But it's never enough for you to actually anchor your parenting on. It's not enough for you to run your whole parenting system. There is a need for you to do more. And there is a need to get your child in the space where your child begins to do more also. So for you as a parent, how are you empowering yourself? How are you building your knowledge base? How are you getting the support that you need on this parenting journey? Because it's actually it's not a walk in the park. It's a journey that requires your time. It's a journey that requires your commitment. It's a journey that requires your knowledge. Okay, so what are you doing to ensure that you are present, giving your children the time that they need? What do you do to ensure that you're getting knowledge? And what do you need to do to ensure that you are committed to this journey? Okay, I say to parents every time, Read books, read lots and lots of books about parenting. If you're reading books to know about every other thing, about about your job, your business, career and all of that. If you're reading books to know, about your faith and all of that, then of course you should be reading to know about how you can be an effective, right? An effective parent to your children. It's that serious. Let no one ever tell you it's not that serious. It's that serious because what you are doing is you are raising human beings that will be a blessing or the opposite to the society. So when you look at our society, whatever you see in our society is a reflection of how hard we are working as parents. It's a reflection of how committed, how knowledgeable, right, and how present we are as parents. So the society is a collection of all our different efforts as parents, basically. All right. So at every point, whatever feedback we're getting from the society is a feedback of what the family system is like, or feedback of what the family system on the average is doing with their children. So yes, it's very key, right? It's very key that we are doing this as parents. And then the other thing is you want to get yourself in a community where people have the same interest, in a community where people are also interested in being better parents like you. All right. When you find yourself in such communities, you will realize that people are ready to share their experiences, people are ready to share their challenges, and in helping them or in listening to them or in contributing, you will also build yourself. You will get experiences that look like your experience. You will get experiences that answer questions, right? Based on your own experiences also. And with all of this, you realize that you become a better parent, apart from the fact that you have people with higher knowledge. Okay, you have people with higher knowledge that, of course, will be helping you on that journey. So we have a powerful parenting community that we would like to recommend to you as a parent. If you would like to, be to join, a community of parents. I belong to that community, and it's such an amazing community. Okay. And we would like to introduce you to how you can get yourself in the inner circle. Okay. It's run by the TIP. But you need to reach out to us if you don't know how to. Apart from that, your children need to be on their own journey too. Yes, parents. Your children need to be on their own journey too. And it's very key that as you're walking your journey, you understand that your child has got a life, and that life is important, that the foundation is solid. The foundation is solid. Sorry. So it's important that the foundation of your child's life is key. That foundation is going to set the pace for the rest of the child's life. So many times the challenge that we have with our children, by the time they get to, adolescence, by the time they become preteens and teenagers, it's not because all of a sudden our children changed and became something else. It's simply because the foundation wasn't right from the beginning. And when the foundation is not right, okay, it would, of course, affect the rest of their lives. So the child you're raising today is the adult that you want to see the child become. So that's why the foundation is very key. So stop thinking that the children need to be 16 and 18 and 20 before we get them on a path towards, what it is that we want them to be, or the right habits that they need to, start building. It is now that the children are 4 and 6 and 8. This is the time. And this is why we have a robust community, the Mastermind Circle, where we actually offer mentorship, accountability, and peer mentorship to children between ages 6 and 14. So your child can actually begin to walk their journey, building the right habits, building the right skills, taking the front stage in their own lives, basically, and then of course building the right foundation. All right, if you would like your child to be a part of the mastermind circle, which happens to be a whole year subscription program where I sit as the matron and the children sit in the company of like minds, children who share the same values, children who are driven, within the same system, children who are connecting with other children like them, who are developing themselves and building deep social connection. All right, if you want that kind of community for your child, then close knitted community where we know every child, where we understand every child, where we understand every child's superpower, and we're meeting each of them at their needs. Right now, we have over 100 children, about 100 children in the mastermind circle. And I tell you, with even those 100 children, we know almost all of them who are active. We know all of them who are active, and I'm talking about a whole 90-something% of them. We know their needs, we know their superpowers. We're working with them based on their uniqueness, okay? And then we are having conversations constantly for an entire year. The next quarter of the mastermind starts on the 1st of September. So it is time for you to grab a slot for your child. With 5,000 naira only, you can grab a slot for your child, and then you make payment between now and September when your child can join us on the 1st of September. All right. So yes, that is the place. So let's go right into it. I said, for you to help your children build habits, of course, that will last, and habits that can be transformed even as they grow older. Habits that will transform your child. You will see your child grow and be transformed into, that person that you have visualized, that person that your vision, right, has birthed. You will see the child begin to understand, your intentions, begin to believe your intentions, and then trust your intentions and the vision that you have for them. Just because you positioned yourself and you were able to introduce habits, and then you stayed consistently for them to you introduced skills, and introduced activities and things you want to see in their lives, to the extent that you stayed in there consistently until these things became habits in the life of your children. There is no other way, right, parents? There's no other way to help your children build habits than for you to introduce the right skills, for you to introduce the right activities, for you to introduce the things that you want to see, for you to mirror the things that you want to see in the lives of your children, for you to bring your children and create an environment where the things you want to see in their lives are introduced, and then you stay in there consistently practicing, working, modeling with these children, teaching. This is how we build habits from simple things. And this is our core in the mastermind, because we know that between the ages of 0 and 5 and then 6 to 10 are the times where our children are connecting with their environment. These are the times where our children are beginning, they're being programmed. A lot of programming is happening. As Maria Montessori puts it, he says the child has got an absorbent mind. So in the first 6 years of their lives, they are absorbing everything in their environment, and everything that they take in from their environment is not lost. It is actually stored up in the brain of the child, in the soul of the child. It is stored up in the subconscious mind of the child. And yes, this becomes the child's experience. And so every other experience afterwards is going to be built on that foundational experience that the child already has. Now, what we are saying to you is bring your children to us. We even receive children in the mastermind who are as old as 5 years and 6 months, 7 months, right? Because we know that we can still get in a lot in there between that end of 5 years and 6 years thereabouts. And even if your children have missed a lot, okay, it's still easier to influence, right, and to program a child between ages 0 and between ages 6 and 10. We can still stay in there with consistency, with support, right, and with the right training and the right teaching. We can still stay in there and still introduce a lot of the skills that the children need. But the game changer is consistency. The game changer is consistency. That is why in the mastermind, we do not do weekly, monthly, we do daily. Our accountability is daily accountability because we understand the power of consistency, especially for this group of children. All right. Now, if we miss it from 6 to 10, we know that before they become teenagers, is another great opportunity. It's another great window of opportunity for us to still lock in some programming, for us to still get in some habits, get in some activities and get in certain things that we can still help them make habits of. And so this is why we anchor and we sit down strong with your children between ages 5 and 7 months till 14, right? Because we know that if we stay in here, if we push, if we, it is said that as children grow older, it becomes more difficult for them to unlearn the things that they have already learned. But it's not impossible for them to unlearn. What it means is, or what it entails is that you would have to, there would have to be a lot of drilling, and then there would have to be self-motivation. So this is what we do for these children between 6 and 14. We encourage them. We build them, we train them, we support them. We do zero shaming in the mastermind. We come to them in a way that the children know that we love them and we are genuinely interested in their success. So we support them in a way that they become family. And so they begin to trust and they begin to believe in what it is that we are saying is the right thing. And that's how gradually self-motivation begins to move on that spectrum from no motivation or external motivation. Okay. And it begins to move down, from that point to self-motivation all the way till the child becomes determined. This is what it is. And this is what we want to achieve with the children by the time they are 14. We want to have moved them from zero motivation or a motivation or external motivation to the point that they are now determined or intrinsically motivated. All right. Now, with that motivation and with the right training and the right support, then the child is able to unlearn what they have learned before and then learn new things to replace what they have learned before. So yes, we're not just helping them unlearn. We are bringing in new things that they can use to replace what it is that they have learned. And then this is what you also want to start practicing at home, dear parents. You also want to start practicing that thing where you can introduce these good habits or good activities and the things you want to see in your children. And so with that, with practice and all of that, right, the children begin to build a habit out of those things. I said 3 parts of their lives that you want to do this. Okay, you want to introduce skills, you want to introduce activities, right, that will help you build habits, all right, that can affect their souls, their mind, and of course, their body. So let's go with body. I'm going to share with you just 2 of them, okay? So right from as early as possible, you want to introduce the children to the right health. How would I put it now? The right health, nutrition, and lifestyle. You want to introduce the children to, healthy living, right? The right kind of nutrition. And of course, the lifestyle that you want to see the children live. So all that, my child does not like pap. My child does not like this. My child does not like that. Some of these things are the things that, we do because, of course, the child just pulls a bit of resistance at the beginning, right? When we introduce some of these things. Of course, now we all like the things that are, how they say the things that are sweet and very spicy and all of that are the things that are not good for our bodies. So your child is a full human being like you. So of course his palates will be, it will go for the things that are really sweet and easy, and nice and, the texture is easy and all of that. That's what your child will embrace naturally. Now, if these things that are healthy and your child is not allergic to it. Your child is not allergic to it. It doesn't pose a health hazard to your child. then it is your responsibility as a parent to ensure that your child embraces it. When children come in, they do not have any pre-knowledge of what your pizza or your rice or your oils and all of that will take. They don't have any pre-knowledge. Every meal that they've eaten is because we introduced it to them. So at the point your child is rejecting something, what you want to do as a parent is you want to do a health check. Do some check. I don't know whether it's with a nutritionist or with the what do you call it, pediatric. I don't know where it is that you need to go to, but I think, a nutritionist, a medical nutritionist should be able to help you. And you want to find out, exactly if this is something that the child is allergic to, it's not good for the child, and all of that. The moment it is ascertained that it's not a problem, then your child needs that meal, especially fruits and vegetables, and however this will be introduced as early as possible. You want to introduce their palate to the right kind of, the right kind of spices, meals, as early as possible, so that this is what they know. It becomes what they know. I remember when our kids were young, when we had our first children, my friend and I, we had our children like 9 days apart and all of that. And she was really very big on fruits, and all of that. So as soon as the kids started eating solid food, she went straight into a lot of vegetables. So she would go a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, and all of that. She had all the time, all the energy, all the support. So she went that way. And by the time the kids were 1 and 2, her children were so big, the weirdest kind of fruits and vegetables that an ordinary child would go like, ew. Her kids would eat and it wasn't a problem. I was trying small. I didn't have the energy she had, and all of that. I didn't know any better, but this is how she was able to introduce her children. And I promise you, even till this day, her kids will eat the weirdest things that other people will not even come close to, right? She didn't have to struggle later with them to, appreciate and to accept, these things, especially fruits and vegetables, and all of that. Some of us had to do a bit of, agboju, no way, you're going to, but she didn't have to. So that's it. As early as possible, you want to do that. The other thing is you want to introduce them to exercise. You want to introduce them as early as possible. All right. Do those, do those exercise at home, right? Do those exercise at home. Start with, your little, what do you call it, aerobics at home, and, do mild aerobics that the children can watch you do. All right. Let them watch you. Their environment is also teaching them. Let the children see you, go out every morning to do walks, and all of that, but more importantly, do some of these things at home so that they can join you and all of that. When you do this, you're already introducing this, you're already programming them for this. And as soon as it's early, as early as possible, if they can join you, let them start joining you for 10 minutes, aerobics here and there. You want to be the one to introduce them to the things that they need to do to build their bodies, right? That container that the body is very key, and every other thing that we will do with our lives is dependent on how well we take care of our bodies. So we want to bring our children to the space where they embrace these things that will build their bodies. All right, so there are many other things, right? But look around, check around. I'm sure there are other things. I introduce the children to having a glass of warm water every morning as soon as they get up, right? Our son has locked it in, and it doesn't matter whether you're there, you're not there. My 14-year-old will wake up in the morning. The first thing he does is, go into his toilet, wash his hands. After peeing or whatever, he washes his hand. He goes straight to the dispenser, turns it on, comes in, runs the tap for his bath, put on the heater, goes back, and then, take his warm water, turn off the dispenser, and it's a routine. I've seen him do that every day, since I started paying attention this year. I've seen him do that every year since the beginning of the year. All right. It is said that this is good for digestion. It is good, right? It is good for digestion. It's good for our digestive organs. All the organs of our body are awakened, when we take a glass or two of water in the morning. The health experts, right, say it's a good thing. So research, do some research, and if it's something that you now understand why it's good, go with it. All right. So there are many more. Think about it. All right. So that's it for developing our bodies. Very key. Bring your children to that space. The next one is developing their souls. What are the habits that you can introduce from day one that will help your children develop their skills? Of course, you want to be the one that will introduce your children to prayers. If you are a faith person, right? You're a faith person, then you know the power of prayers, isn't it? So you want to introduce prayer into their lives. Prayer, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your values are, all right, you want to introduce that to your children as early as possible. So based on your values, right, what's your spiritual beliefs, then introduce it in small ways. I say the best way to train a child, or the best way, right, to build a child to be successful and live their full potential is to start introducing the things that they would do in life later, the big things that they would do in life. You want to start introducing that in small, fun ways today. So the big things that we need as human beings to succeed, you want to start introducing today in small ways and fun ways to your children. So look for fun ways to introduce prayers to your child. Look for fun ways to introduce what your worship system is in your home. Look for fun ways to introduce your God to your children as early as possible. That's whole, my child is too small, leave him at home, you go to church, all those things, look for ways to introduce whatever it is, at least at home first, to your child. Very key. Don't wait for your child to start Sunday school for the child to start understanding things. Talk about these things as early as possible with your child today, right from home. This way you are able to build them, all right? Introduce habits that will help them build their souls. The other one, very key, is reflection. You want to introduce the ability to reflect, the ability to meditate, to come into that space of reflection to your child as early as possible. This will not only edify them, or this will not only build them, okay, it's not a skill that will only build their spiritual lives or help them build a habit, that will improve their soul, right? This will also work in every other area of their lives. If you can get your children as early as possible, okay, as early as when your child is 3 months, as early as well from day one, get into a system where you wake up in the morning, you say a prayer, and you sit down quietly with your child and just hum or sing a very slow, kind of worship song with the child. Let the child be with you in this moment. Speak softly, connect, in the spirit with your child. Do that, even if it's for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Let it just be a habit that you practice with your child gradually. As the child grows older, start having conversations that help you reflect. Okay, come back from work. I did this a lot. With the children. Come back from work and sit down with them after you had a bath, you've had all of that. You sit with them and then you begin to reflect on what your day was like. Oh, mommy had a good day today. Oh, let me see how it went. I did this, I did that, I did this and did that, even at the point where the child cannot speak. Okay, you're programming, parents, you're a programmer in the first few years of your children's life. All you're doing is you're programming the child. So do that with the child and all of that. As they grow older, okay, as soon as, now make this a practice, right? As they begin to grow older, make it a practice that when you finish, they can now speak. When you finish reflecting on your day, help them also reflect on what their day was like. When you're done, you'll be like, you have introduced them, or you have invited them to also share. Now you now say, it's your turn. And then the child can go like, oh, well, it was this, it was that, and all of that. As they grow even older, 5, 6, introduce journals to the children. Get your little ones to journal. We do this with the children in the mastermind. If I show you some of the journals from my 6-year-olds in the mastermind, you will be like, are you kidding me? The children are able to stop and reflect on what it was like, what their day was like. They're able to reflect and make meaning out of it. This is how you're able to see, what have I been able to achieve today? What did I do with my time today? What was right today? How can I do differently? How can I be better? All of this comes in with the ability to reflect. By the time your children are 10, your children should have locked in, being able to reflect as a habit. They should have locked it in. Your 10, your 12, your 14-year-olds should be people that should pick their journal and journal in it without anyone chasing them. This is where we're going to with the children in the mastermind. A lot of them have already locked in this skill and it has become a habit. All right, so it will do well for your spiritual life, it will do well for your work life, it will do well for your career, it will do well for your every aspect of your life. All right, it will do well with your emotional regulation. Right, there are too many skills that are involved, when we raise children who are able to reflect. Very key. The next one is their mind. You want to raise children, and so you want to introduce habits that will help your children build their mind. One of these is getting your children to wake up early every day, whether it's the holiday or not the holiday. It's a habit that if you are able to help your children build, it will help them for the rest of their lives. So stop having your children stay in simply because it's a holiday. So during the holiday, we see some of them wake up at 12 o'clock and everything as if it's compensation for going to school. No, get the children to go to bed early in the evening, okay, at night. Do what you have to do and go to bed as early. Go to bed at 8 o'clock or 8:30. Let them be in bed and sleep and get their whole 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 10 hours of sleep. That's cool, right? For your older kids, of course. For your younger kids, of course, maybe it's prescribed. There's a chart. Go and check online. You see the chart for, certain age. They should have about 12 hours or so of sleep and all of that. But by the time your children are school-age children, I think 8 to 10 hours of sleep is okay for them. So get the children in bed early and get them early. Let them learn the concept of waking up early and getting a good start while men sleep. Okay, while men slumber, let them get in and prepare their field. Let them get in and prepare themselves while men slumber. So let your children wake up in the morning, have enough time to pray, have enough time, to reflect, have enough time to do chores, have enough time to pick a book and read, all right, and then have breakfast and all of that. By the time it is 9 o'clock during the holiday, your children would have achieved so much in the first 1, 2, 3 hours of the morning, and then they can play with reckless abandon in the afternoon. Let them know that, hey, that from the whole of 12 in my home, the TV doesn't even come on during the holiday until 12 noon. Now at 12 noon, you have about 2 hours of screen time. That's enough time for you to do all your screen time 2 hours. It's enough time for you to go outdoor and play. It's enough time for us to go to the park. It's enough time to visit your friends. It's enough time for a lot of activities. You can look that the whole of the afternoon, get it to build skills and do all the things that you need to, so that by the time the evenings come, you begin to wind down, in the evenings, and then have that quality family time together where you could do it too. You could do something together to bond, see a movie together if you decide to do that as an activity as a whole family, build puzzles together, do all of these amazing things that you can do, dance, and do all of that. It's because we don't help our children maximize the day. The whole day. We don't help them maximize. They don't get up early anyway. So by the time they're waking up at 12 o'clock, the day is almost gone. How many hours do you have to lock in the things that are important? And before you know it, they're awake till 11, 12 o'clock because they're on holiday. You are not helping them build healthy habits, okay, or positive habits if you do this. Okay, so this is the one way you want to help them build, their mind as people who know how to get up and get the things that they have to do. All right. The first way the devil will attack you is put you down. Your inability to get up and go, because until a person stands up to get to do something, you don't get to achieve anything, no matter what skills or whatever, expertise that you have. So that's why you have to teach your children that the ability to stand up and go, right, and do that as early as possible, and, clinch the things that need to be clinched as early as possible while others slumber, then the better for them. So you need to do that, and you need to help them make this a habit. Teach your children to read books. This one can never be overemphasized. Get your children to start reading book and then create a routine around reading book. I said, if your children get up early at 6 o'clock, even during the holiday, they say prayer and do whatever they have to do. At 7 o'clock, they get around to doing their chores and all of that. Do you know that at 8:30, your children can have a bath and they can actually have breakfast, and then they can actually read a book for about an hour. So by 10 o'clock, when their mates are waking up, your child is already done chores, dressed up, prayed, done all of that, and has even gotten some knowledge by reading books. This is how you build lifelong learners. This is how you help children develop their mind. Very, very key. All right. And if you don't know what your children should be reading, we got books here. Amazing, amazing books. Okay. This is our all-time bestseller, Bedtime Stories for Champions. You want your children to read this book. If you have children between 6 and even up to 15, amazing book. But we wrote this for kids between 7 and 13. But even your 15-year-old will benefit. Stories of young children doing amazing things all around the world. All right. Amazing book. Christmas Stories for Champions. All just stories trying to teach your children or tell them about what our life was like in the 80s, and the 80s and the late 70s, what Christmas was like for us. It's not a religious book. All right. So this is a soldier coming back home for Christmas because he promised his family he will be home for Christmas. Basically, that's what this is. Amazing, beautiful book. And then Playtime Stories for Champions. What are children without play? What is a child without stories that will lead to playful activities? Beautiful book for your children, 0 to 10. They should have this book and create endless activities in that afternoon after they've done all they have to do in the morning. Very, very key. Did I talk about reflection? This one right here, 360 days a week. Your children can now write down their reflection. Okay, right here. Journaling it. All right. And then, of course, are you building their minds? I said, very key. This is your and money smart. Let your children begin to learn about money. Let them learn about money, how to make it, how to manage it, and how to, of course, a lot of reflection to write in here. What have you learned? All of that. Let them learn to make, manage, and multiply money. And then, of course, we have unlocking excellence. Let your children begin to understand there's a lot of excellence that is inside of them. They need to go in there and build excellence in every area of their life, even beyond their academics. Okay, make academic activities fun and adventurous. We said that. Study routines and structure. Support, all of that. Amazing, amazing book. So yes, don't complain you don't know what they should read. I've given you. We have all of this, and you can get this on Amazon. You can get hard copies around major cities in Nigeria. So just reach out to us and we'll let you know. All you need to do is pay to our account, and then you can pick up at your location. So thank you very much. I said I was going to give you two. So let your children read. Let your children wake up early, get themselves ready, get a bath in the morning. Stop sending your children all around the place. Stop allowing your children move all around your house throughout the day smelling. Teach them to get up in the morning and then get what they have to do and then prepare themselves and be ready to win. Okay, because winning starts from home. When they wake up and they make that bed in the morning, that's their first win. When they get themselves in the bathroom and get themselves dressed and ready to be productive, that's a second win. So teach your children to win every day. As they win every day, they will build their confidence, they will build their self-esteem, and then they're ready to take the world. Thank you very much for joining me. If you would like your child to be a part of the Mastermind Circle, we have the information scrolling right now on your screen for the 2024 cohort. Just take a snapshot of it, and of course, reach out to us on our number 081306 08130621566. You can reach out to us if you want to talk to us directly or ask questions. But apart from that, that's the information that you need to get a slot or register your child, and get a slot for your child so that your child has a place. We have limited slots, only a number for the junior and the senior category. As soon as we're full, we will lock down for the year, and we'll be with your child for 365 days, powerfully, effectively, and then of course supporting them amazingly. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Have a blessed week. Bye.